Hello and welcome back to Craft Arcanum episode number 8. I'm Morat28, and I'm a terrible, terrible person who has fallen again, this time for the Division. It's a fun game. I know it's gotten a lot of panned reviews and stuff just because of the way it plays and what it is, but I've actually been having fun playing it, so suck it. No, seriously though, it's a very distracting game. I've been playing with some people, and it's definitely a game that is infinitely more fun when you're playing it with people. It's probably not the one for pro FPS players or anything, but it's a fun game. Oh, you guys are all done. We'll get them later. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today, we are actually going to be automating the production of leather and wool and stuff. So we had set these guys up here before, so we had the golems in the little pen, and they were just mercilessly slaughtering the sheep and cows as I remember to feed them wheat from my little farm over here. It's not much, but it works. I need to actually get some lily pads in here so that I can not have this stupid plank go up and down. I don't think you can trample crops this way, but I don't want to take the chance. But these guys, they're doing their things. They're slaughtering many a young animal. I put an earth upgrade on these guys, which increases their strength, so they're quicker to kill. It's the more humane thing to do is to make sure they just have a nice and quick, easy death. What I have been noticing is every now and then I get an animal that spawns like inside of the cobblestone wall block and then pops outside. And that can be problematic because if it spawns outside but it hangs around the golem's range enough, it's possible you can end up with only a single cow inside of the pen here. So that's something I need to take into account. I might need to replace these with solid blocks instead of doing walls. But if I do that, it's going to have to be at least too high so that the cows don't just walk over the walls. I could probably put like a glass divider around it, I suppose. Oh, you guys are doing so good. So proud of you. So proud of you with those lifeless sheep eyes. Just like stare at that. They're always watching. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing, we are going to continue the use of golems that we have here. We have the two butchering golems right there. To each of those pens, we are actually going to add to each of the pens, we're going to add a single gather golem. We're going to use 2 total. Let's see, 1, 2. All right, so that's good. We're also going to be using a transvector interface. These guys are from Tinkerer, and they are amazing. Basically, what they let you do is you can bind a block to the transvector interface. And then whenever something interacts with this block, say for item movement or power or whatever like that, it'll interact with the original block. So what you can do is use this for short range jumps of piping and stuff. So like if you have like a really compact system, but you still need to get an item into the actual block itself, if you link this guy to it, you can have it to the outside and it just goes really, really well. In this case, I'm able to have self-contained animal pods in here and still just deposit everything into the interface. So we're just going to put these guys in the corners right here. And what we're going to do is actually put the golem on the interface, right? So, boom, and boom. So that's good. And then gather. So right now these guys are going to pick up everything inside the little pen. Unfortunately, they will try to search outside of it every now and then, so they might get hung up on stuff, but I'll try to do what I can to mitigate that. And we need something for them to put their stuff into. What I'm going to use for now, actually, is a storage drawer set. And let's see, so we have those guys, double set, and then I need to make more of the regular Greatwood drawers, I think. We'll use, just use these guys for now. Alright, and since I really don't want to look at the drawers, what we're going to do... what is the range on these transvectors, actually? I think it's like 5 blocks, but I'm not certain. Atomic tinkering. There you go. See, they're really easy to make. It's just arcane stone blocks, redstone, and a pearls lapis. Pretty cheap. 4 blocks. Okay. 4 blocks. So if they're right here, they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. This is the limit. Considering it's at the diagonal, it's probably going to be like right there is the limit. Tell you what, we'll just put it right here, I guess. That'll work. Alright, so we have the drawer controller down. Let's see, do we right-click that? Yeah, and then... Alright, so right now they're not going to do anything because there's nothing connected to that drawer. I'm just going to put these down first and then the final one. Okay, so let's try this again. Oops. Stop that. You're in the way, Golem. Why are you giving me such a hard time? Oh, you know, I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. No, you're not getting out. You want to go now? How about if I put a piece of dirt in there, we then want to go? Apparently, I don't know how to use a transvector interface. I thought that was exactly what you had to do. Oh, there it goes. I think it might have just needed to be replaced. Go away, cows. That looks to be it. It looks good. Okay. Alright, so for now, anything that gets dropped inside of this pen is going to end up inside of these drawers, so that works. I will end up replacing these guys with a single variant versions of it. I just don't have any great wood right now. Great wood drawer. Great wood drawer. Okay, they do stack. Alright, so we have these guys here. That works fine. We need to actually have a way to get the wheat into the actual feed station. And again, for this, we're going to be using transvector interfaces. We're going to need 2 of them, and we're also going to need a wood golem with a, what is it, an empty core, that's it. Empty core, and then we also want treated wood fences, sheet metal blocks, and a vacuum hopper for the most awesome thing I'm going to make today. Alright, so again, this has a block limit of about 4 blocks, so you can't go too crazy on this. So we're going to put it like right directly in front, just like this. Nuh-uh, you can't have that. It's mine. It's mine, Golem. What you going to do? Alright, and transvector binder. Click. 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 Alright, so those guys are set up. The next thing is we want to set up our main storage for wheat that we're going to have our little golem using. The golems actually have a fairly decent range. I think I'll probably set it up like right about here. It's a good enough away that it's not like exactly in front of it, but it's close enough away it should be painfully obvious as to what it is, which is going to be a silo. These are a multi-block structure from Immersive Engineering. They look really neat. To be honest, you don't really need them if you're using, say, barrels or anything, but they really do look really neat. To make one cost about, I want to say, 50 iron ingots, and it holds a pretty good amount of stuff. Not nearly as much as a fully upgraded Java barrel or anything like that, mind you, but it looks so much better. And they're not really that hard to make. Alright, so that should be the last block, because it's only 50. Ow. My legs! Alright, so we got that put together. We should be able to right-click on the center block in the second row. Here we go, and we get an item silo. The only thing that's missing is I forgot to put up the vacuum hopper. And we will definitely need the vacuum hopper. Alright, it's 3 a.m. Hooray! Alright, so we're gonna no not XP output. That right there, out. Okay, let's make sure I collect all of these. I don't want them going into the silo. Good, okay. So we got that. We're going to go ahead and put the golem off of the very base of the silo. He can interact with that. And then empty. And we're going to go ahead and tell him to use the transvector interfaces. You go away. I don't want anything doing with you. Tell you what, let's go ahead and sleep the night away. Now, when I was originally thinking how I wanted to control how much wheat and stuff we produce, I was going to use something using note blocks to trigger the production and stopping of the production of the wheat. But it's occurred to me that while yes, that will kind of work, without having the signal reset at one point, which I can't think of a really good way to do that without having some kind of like clock running so it continually reevaluates. That's overly complicated. There is a much simpler solution that I can use, and that is using something out of Automagi called a remote comparator. Let's go pop this open. It's this guy right here. Basically, crafting it with a and using a crystalline eye, you can mark a block to monitor for the purposes of acting as a comparator. Pretty neat, works really well. There is a range to it of about, I think, 20 blocks. There's a limit to how far away a device can be from specified coordinates. The limit is generally 20 blocks, but it's possible some devices will have other requirements. It's about 20 blocks. Yeah, so it's a little teeny tiny space, especially considering if I'm checking right here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is already 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and 20. So that's 20 blocks, like right here. 20 blocks is right here. Smack on. Right here. That's not at my farm. That's like right in the middle of the path that would be running between the wheat farm and stuff. So that's not so great, but you may be able to chain them, or I might be able to do something else to get the signal to go back and forth. Worst case scenario, I could just bury it underground and just have the signal just run crystal. That's not an ideal solution, but it is one that would work. They sound so happy. Basically, though, what I would do is once the signal gets up to, say, about 13, stop sending wheat, right? So once it gets below that, send all the wheat you want, but once it gets to 13 or higher, stop sending wheat. Speaking of sending wheat, we need to actually get the harvesting of that set up. More golems. Okay, let's see. We got the wood golem. You know what I did not make and I need to make? I need to make an order upgrade. That's unfortunate. Anyway, we need to gather and we need harvest. Alright, so I'm kind of hesitant to actually put down the harvest one until I get the gather core. If I don't, what's going to happen is it'll harvest all the wheat, but it won't replace it. I thought I had made one. I could be completely crazy. I may be completely crazy. By the way, check out this wood. This stuff is awesome. I really like this. I'm thinking about using this wood right here for the barn. Alright, we're back and we actually have a order upgrade now. Hooray. Alright, so like I said, the main reason I want to make sure we had that is so that the golem doesn't go on a rampage, break everything without replanting it, because that would be bad. So, harvest. Now, generally for the harvest, you want a really fast golem, because they don't really need any strength or anything. I think straw probably would have been the ideal one for this, but really wood works just fine. Plus it stands out visually. Anyway, so we got these guys right here. We need to get a golem now that can actually harvest some of this stuff. It'll need an inventory to put stuff into, and we're going to do something similar to what we did over here. We are going to use drawers, and we are going to use 2 drawers and a drawer controller. And that looks good, actually. Yeah, it looks good. So basically, this guy is just going to pick up everything and put it into the storage drawer here. Let's see. Doesn't really need to be centered, I suppose. So we'll just have this right here. Then we'll have these guys to the left and right. Try this again. There we go. And one of the things we're going to do, we need to make sure we key this guy so he'll only will go after wheat and seeds. I may also need to give him a range increase. So, okay, you keep doing that, guy, we'll be good. So the way that we're actually going to get the items from here to the silo, we're going to do the most practical thing I can think of, and we're going to use a giant freaking cannon. This thing's actually pretty neat. It'll fire off a stack of stuff at a time, wherever way you point it. So we go ahead and right-click it, it'll key this pointer to the cannon itself, but we can tell it's aimed pretty much anywhere, and it's going to reposition it. It'll find out the trajectory it needs, and it will just fire the item in that trajectory to get to that spot. And you can pretty much aim it wherever you want. It's pretty neat. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be aiming this guy towards that hopper up here. So whenever the item gets near the vacuum hopper, it just gets sucked right in and goes into the silo. Good to go, ready for the next adventure. Alright, so it's kind of hard to see at night, but that line is now coming straight this way. And it's like perfectly going through the center of that vacuum hopper, so that's exactly what we want. What's over here? Check that out. We already got 2 leather, 5 beef, 5 wool. On a benefit, this will also get me some extra seeds every now and then, which we can use for either forestry or immersive engineering when we need it. No, you go away. Go away, thank you. So, talk to me, Gollum. I only want you to pick up these guys, and I only want you to pick up those guys. Everything else you are going to ignore. He can only pick up 4 items at a time. I might need to give him a strength upgrade, just to make things a little bit quicker. Alright, other than that, that's pretty nice. Let's see, we have 31 seeds and 42 wheat. And this thing right now is currently pointed directly at that silo. Let's go ahead and get something to test. Do I have any wood? No, but I think I might have some buttons in here, actually. Buttons? No. Okay, we'll get some of the Ipe. I really, really do like this wood. It is fantastic looking. So as long as this cannon is getting an active redstone signal, it'll fire off at will. And it will pull from adjacent inventories. That includes the storage drawers here. So if we fire that, it just grabbed that stack of wheat and fired it all the way up. You kind of saw it going up. But if you see the silo now, it's got the image of wheat on it. That means it actually is inside the silo, so it hit perfectly. And now our little golem down here is going to be taking it out of the silo to fill up each of these feed stations. It's going to continue to do this one first, but after this one gets full, it'll default to the cows then. And he's just doing 4 at a time, so if I did a strength upgrade on him, he would do 8 at a time. It's okay for him to take a little bit because these guys are not going to go through the wheat that quickly because of the cooldown. Connected to tile, Robcraft machine, alpha name. Yeah, that's supposed to be feed station. What do these guys say? Connected to drawer controller. Awesome. Yeah, so I think whatever method they're using to get name is failing for Wayla. It's kind of funny. See, now it's completely empty. They put all the wheat into the thing here. 42. It is the meaning of life, everything, and apparently sheep. So we will right-click on that, tells us it is watching item silo, which is 5.92 blocks away from me. Okay, let's see if it can read this far out. I doubt it will, but we're going to find out. The only problem is this for this comparator. If it's not reading, I'm not going to know until it's broken. Make a really simple gate, I suppose. Thunk. I love that sound. You know, if I were smart, I would have a chest over there so that I can test it for certain, because this might be not working because of the fact it's empty, or it might not be working because of the fact that it is so far away. You know what? I think that there is a... I think comparators have a special output based on the state of a note block, right? I don't know why I put you there. So if this works right, that should turn off. Or not. I guess that doesn't work. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Okay. That's okay. Do I have a hopper here or something like that? Negative. Okay, let's make a chest. We got a chest. Okay, so we got the chest. Let's get some dirt from over here for filler. Dirt is the universal filler out of Dural. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this down on the same level as the silo, but just a little bit over. So if we use this, right, we should be able to see what kind of signal is coming off of this. So it is pulling a signal, and it is a value of... It's not going to show me if that is it. No. Darn it. That's okay. That's okay. Let's break this. Let's see. Does it transmit to red crystal? It does, and it's 3. Okay. So it should be transmitting power 3 right now. Nothing. It's too far away. Okay. Just knocked my mic. Shouldn't do that. Okay, so let's put it right here. 3. Okay, so that works. That doesn't work. So, like, probably right there. So right here is the furthest that we could possibly go. So there is indeed a range limit. That's unfortunate. Okay. So the cannon is right here. Just so I can know what I'm looking at. So the cannon's right there. We have the RS latch. RS latch will do like right here. We're going to put an arcane ear to the left and to the right of it. One's going to be on dirt, the other's going to be on stone. Alright, so these aren't set yet. But basically, whenever the stone one pings, this is the stone one, right? Whenever the stone one pings, it's going to set the signal here, which will drive it so that this is on. If it's already on and it hits it again, it's going to stay on. It's not going to toggle. That's why I can't use a toggle. A toggle will just go back and forth no matter what, which is not good. This, whenever the dirt one gets pinged, it will drive this one high, which means that it'll send a signal this way, turning that off. But basically what we're going to have to do, right, we need to find out off of this tank how full it is. If we set this to do something at, like, say, 13 signal, it's going to give it more than enough time to cut off. It's not going to come anywhere near close to full by the time we get to it. So if we do that, we're not going to have to worry about any, like, overflow or anything. And before this gets too far, I know I could use wireless redstone. I just don't want to use wireless redstone. I've used it very, very much so, and I'd like to avoid using it if I can. Alright, we just need to clear a little bit of space here to work. There we go. A little bit of spreading around room, as it were. Alright, welcome back to my hole. Hooray! So I've actually been tinkering this for a little bit, trying to get this to work out right, and I have realized something. I am terrible with redstone, no matter how much I like it. There's actually a really simple solution to this, and I feel really dumb for not realizing this ahead of time. So essentially what we're going to do here, right, is we have a comparator coming off of the silo upstairs. Up top. Currently it has a grand total of 2 wheat in it, and that's not going to last for long. This comparator right here will measure its general fullness as it gets full. 2 wheat is not going to trigger for anything, unfortunately. But basically what's going to happen, I'm going to go ahead and emulate what a full silo looks like using a dim red crystal here and a torch. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put the torch here. It's set to 1 right now, which is not going to be of any use. Let's go ahead and set this to something like, say, 6. So what this thing's doing right now is it is limiting the strength of the signal that can come through here to 6. So this will be not connected because it doesn't have the little things. Alright, so this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And this dense red crystal right here will only let a signal of 11 or higher through, so it's not going to trigger this note block. So that's good. The thing that we need to do, though, is we need to have a thing set up so that as the level of the actual signal strength decreases, we need to trigger the farm to start working again, or rather to start shooting wheat back over again. And what we're going to use to do that is one of the most basic gates in all of Redstone, a NOT gate. It's crazy. It's going to work, but it's crazy. We're going to go ahead and put a block down right here. Torch, and no block. And this needs to be set, see, this is 8, it needs to be 6. Does this still set to 6? No. Alright, so that's set, that's good. And basically what's going to happen is, since right now this red crystal is powered, it turns off the torch, which means that this isn't going to trigger. But if we were to, say, have a sudden decrease in signal, that torch comes on, triggers the block. That's all we have to do. It's that simple. I'm an idiot. Alright, and with that, if we, let's go ahead and put this back down. This time, no dim crystal this time. Put that down, we get the thump. That is the thump of, hey, turn off the cannon, stop shooting stuff. And then we go back the other way. Works just fine. I knew I'd get it. I didn't know when I'd get it, but I knew I'd get it. No, my precious. Okay, everything in here's good. Everything in there's good. We're covering that. What the? Seriously? Seriously? I'll be right back. Alright, my mild rage attack is gone, and we have everything working again. As it turned out, I actually had all the stuff I needed on me, so it really wasn't that bad. But seriously, creepers suck. I see, yeah, you over there, you suck. You in the green. Oh, I don't have a... You know what? I quit. That's it for today. No. Thank you all for watching this episode of Craft Arcanum. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a message in the section below. I will see you next time when there's less creepers about. And if you have any questions about why I did what I did or how it works, please feel free to say something. Until then, I'm going to go find a hole to cry in.